What do you do with yourself now?
Right now, I'm currently editing on Big Brother Canada. I was editing on a show called Cold Water Cowboys on Discovery Channel as well. I started out assisting there, and then I was doing junior editing the same season, and then I got bumped up to editing. I was previously assisting on Big Brother as well, but then once I got the editing on the fishing show, I took a risk. I said I shouldn't come back as an assistant because now I've kind of made a jump that's a fairly hard jump to make, and I took that risk, and I ended up, the chance was really low, but I ended up getting a job editing on Big Brother, and then after Big Brother I will be editing on The Bachelor Canada.
Cool, very nice. Did you always want to edit when you were in Seneca?
No, I didn't. I actually didn't know what I wanted to do. So I knew I liked directing in Alex's class, in our studio class. And that was definitely my favorite thing to do. I did like editing. I liked Avid and all that. But I asked somebody in the industry if they can give me any piece of advice, because I had no clue what I wanted to do while I was interning. And she told me, I think you should either go into pre-production or post-production, because production is short contracts. That was like her reasoning of like looking at it for like a long-term type thing. And then I'm like, hey, well, I don't like pre-production. I'm not into that, like the paperwork and the planning and all that kind of stuff. I like kind of being creative. So I'm like, I'll go into post, and then I took a stab at it, and I was told that was pretty good. So, so it's all just blossomed from there.
What makes a pretty good editor?
I think what makes a pretty good editor is having a good sense of timing and pacing. Apparently, I've been told that can't be taught. So sometimes you either just have that skill or you don't. And then also being creative. And just like honing your skills and like continuing to learn different things that you can do to make things interesting and stuff like that.
What system are you editing on now?
We're using Avid.
Does that matter? Does it, you know, everybody always wants to know, what are you working on? Does it really even matter?
I think you should just try to learn everything. And I mean, once you learn one program, it's fairly easy to figure out the others, you know, with editing. But Avid is really popular in the industry, especially when you're working on big shows. Just the way that the system works, and it's very fluid. But yeah, I think definitely knowing how to do things. And I'll tell you this right now: even if you don't think you want to do editing, if you don't think you want to be a camera operator, if you don't think like you don't know what you want to do, just learn everything. That's definitely key. So that you can be, first of all well-rounded to be able to do any job, and when you decide what you want to do, that you know how to do those things.
So as an editor, what is the value of being a camera, of knowing the camera, knowing audio, knowing production planning?
One main thing is the best camera operators and the best directors will have been editors. So I'll be watching footage, and I can tell who's edited before as a camera operator and who hasn't, and it's a huge difference. Because if you just go there and you're shooting and you're just okay, this looks great, but you're not thinking of the story, how it's gonna cut. You know, you can't just jump from, when you're editing, you can't just jump from one thing to the next and it doesn't make sense. You have to think of it as a whole continuous story.
Great.
Right, not just like, oh, this is a pretty shot, you know. So you need to understand the skills of editing and how that works. That's huge.
Very well said. Somebody who spent 5 years editing before I became a shooter. It was interesting. I used to have people ask me, once they saw I was an editor, and they said, well, will you come edit for us? And I didn't want anything to do with editing. Physically fit people shouldn't be in little dark rooms. So I refused, but then a lot of people looked at me and said, oh, you've edited? Well, great. Well, you come shoot with us, because you must know what you're doing then.
Right. So. It does make a huge difference. And even directing, like, because I've always wanted to be a director, and I've always thought about it, and then another reason was people told me, like, the best directors were editors first, because you just understand how it all comes together. So even if you don't ever plan on being an editor, it's good to just maybe try, like, cut your own kind of story, go shoot it, and then cut it and see, well, what did I miss when I did this to make this story complete and stuff. You know, just get your head working and figuring that out for the next time.
Cool. What's next for you? Where are you going? What are you gonna do? You gonna hang this for a while, and then?
With editing?
Yeah, with editing, and then you're gonna look for. Do you have aspirations to go on to directing and stuff?
I think so. I mean, I think right now I'm gonna stick with editing. I kind of just got into it September. I started editing officially, and I'm liking it a lot. So I'm going to continue to try to just do my best in that, and always set my goals as high as possible, because then you definitely achieve them if you just believe you can.
Last thing, most memorable moment apart from the name issue when you were at Seneca. What was the one or maybe two things that really stood out as stuff that was just like, wow, cool?
In general, I actually really enjoyed seeing the final product of our final project come all together and be like, wow, like I had a big hand in that. And watching the videos at the end with everybody and seeing how everyone else did. And I think another really important thing is just to, like, the moments that you have with like your friends and all of that, and just keeping those connections, because you never know when you'll be working with somebody, or you know what I mean. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Networking never
is-
burn a bridge.
Yeah,
Excellent.
exactly.
Wonderful.